Okay, so we're gonna do a tutorial on how to do Unit 4, Lesson 4 practice work. And so this is going to be quadrilateral F and Y is shown on the coordinate grid, and number one's asking you to translate it 4 left, and then 8 up, and then rotate it clockwise about the origin. And then it has number 2, which tells you to describe the transformation, and then tell the algebraic description, and then fill out the table for all the points. So if you haven't recognized that this is all kind of like one question altogether, if you work it concurrently, it will be a lot easier on you. So let's go for blue is going to be my translation one. So let's go ahead and start the translation. One, and the algebraic description for a translation is x comma y yields x plus the change in x, and in this case the change in x is a negative 4. It's going to be a negative 4, so I'm going to take that plus, I'm going to change it to a minus 4, comma, and then y plus the change in y, and it's going to be 8 units up. Right, so 8y, when y goes up, it's plus, so 8 units up. That's correct. So that is my algebraic description. And then my rotation will be red. So my rotation is going to be x comma y yields, and my 90-degree rotation, if you check your notes, is going to be y comma negative x. That's the algebraic description in general for a rotation. That's saying that any one of these points here is going to be applied this pattern. My x is going to become y, and my y will become negative x for the next point. Okay, so now what we're going to do for these tables is we're going to pull off our original point, right, and then we're going to apply these algebraic descriptions to find the image and the post image, I guess, the pre-image, and then the post image, or the image for each transition. And then after we find this will be the intermediate image, right? And then this will be the final image, and this is what we're actually going to draw on the coordinate grid. So I'm going to use black or pencil, I guess. Pencil, maybe I won't use pencil. Okay, I'll use purple to find our original things, and then original points. So my F point is negative 4 comma negative 2. It's going to be negative 4 comma negative 2. My end point is 2. Correct? Yeah, 2 negative 4. My end point is 2 comma negative 4. My W point is 1 comma negative 7. 1 comma negative 7. And my Y point is negative 3 comma negative 6. Negative 3 comma negative 6. This is where you got to be real careful that you don't flip-flop some numbers, and not double check just to be sure. So negative 4, negative 2, check that one. 2, negative 4, check that one. 1, negative 7, check that one. And then 3, negative 3, and negative 6, check that one. Okay, so gotta be real careful with those, because if you get those start wrong at the very start, the whole thing will just kind of fall apart. Okay, so then I'm going to go to blue, and then my x is going to be, I'm going to subtract 4 from that, Okay, and then my y is going to be subtract 8, or add 8 to that. Okay, and if you want to get a calculator, I always go for a calculator to reduce errors, right? So my x values are going to be this value minus plus that, which is negative. Okay, so this is going to be negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. This one is going to be 2 minus 4, which is going to be negative 2. It's going to be 1 minus 4, which is going to be negative 3. And it's going to be negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Okay, and then my over here is going to be negative 2 plus 8, which is 6. I'm going to have negative 4 plus 8, which is going to be 4. Negative 7 plus 8, which is positive 1. Positive 1. And negative 6 plus 8, which is positive 2. All right, so these would be the coordinate planes for the polygon, the quadrilateral, after the first transformation, which is the first translation. But I'm not going to plot that because it's not what it's telling me to plot. It's telling me to plot the polygon after the second translation. So I'm going to take these numbers here, and I'm going to apply these plots of numbers here. So this is going to be my x value here, because this is a rotation. My x value is going to be the y's, the old y from the blue. I'm going to make this a little less confusing. I should probably use my blue. The x value here is going to be my blue y value. And then the y value here is going to be the negative x value. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my y values. Okay, so my y values here are going to be 6, 4, 1, and 2. Okay, and then over here, my negative x values are going to be negative 8, which is 8. The negative of negative 2, which is 2. The negative of negative 3, which is 3. And then the negative of negative 7, which these should be red. These should be red. I don't know why. There, these should be red. So let's go back. 6, 4, 1, and 2, and then 8, 2, 3, and then the negative of negative 7, which is 7. Okay, now that I got all this done, this is going to be much easier to plot these numbers, right? Because these are my new coordinate pairs for this quadrilateral. Much easier to plot this quadrilateral now that I have its points, right? So I'm going to plot 6 and 8, right? So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to plot 6. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 8. This is going to be 6 and then 8, right? And that is going to be G. Okay, and then I'm going to plot 4, 2. So I'll plot 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And that will be L. And then I'm going to plot T, which is 1, 3. T is 1, 3. All right. And then that's T. And then I'll plot X, which is 2, 7. 2, 7. All right, and that is X. All right, so I'll grab my trusty and go here. Go there and there. There and there. Connect X to G. And then G to L. G to L. That's a little off, but that's good enough. Okay, and notice how you complete the first page. From there to there. Okay? So that's how you do 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And then number 5 is just saying, explain how the quadrilaterals, F, N, W, and F prime, N prime, and W prime, and Y prime show the effect of the transformation of the coordinates. Well, the translation subtracts the X coordinates and then and adds the Y coordinates. You can just see that right here. You know, it's just saying, hey, the X, the translation, you subtracted the Y coordinates and you add the 8 to the Y coordinates, and that's all that's asking. It just subtracts. Explain how the tables for the quadrilaterals for the translation affected the transformations on the coordinates for the algebraic results in the algebraic description. So all this is saying is the translation subtracted 4 from X coordinates and added 8 to the Y coordinates. Okay, and then explain how the tables for the quadrilaterals for the post-translation quadrilateral to the post-rotation quadrilateral show the effect of the transformation on the coordinates as a result of the algebraic description. And all it is saying is that, hey, we have the X and the Y's flopped, and it changed the sign on the previous X and became the Y. Okay, so it's the X and the Y. So the rotation swapped the X and Y values and changed the sign of the image. It's a Y value, right? The image Y value, that's right. Image Y value. Image Y value. Okay. All right, so now it says we have this triangle XGK shown on the grid. Right, draw a triangle at a rotation of 270 degrees, and then reflection. Okay, so again, this is the same thing that we happened last time, right? The same process as we did last time. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. Okay, so again, before we draw anything, we're going to do the table here. Okay, to help us with the rotation. So a rotation of 20, so it's telling us to do a 270 degree rotation, right? Clockwise. You know, this is the same thing as a 90 degree rotation counterclockwise. Okay, remember that. So the algebraic description of that would be, let's use red, fine. X comma Y is, I forgot my arrow, comma Y yields Y comma negative X. Right, I think that was the same thing as we did last time. Yeah, that's the same thing as we did last time. Right, just a rotation counterclockwise. It's the same way. Right, so this is we can write that in there too. Rotation 270 degrees clockwise or 90 degrees counterclockwise. It's the same equation. Move stuff out of my way. Okay, and then it's a reflection across the x-axis, or the correction, the y-axis. So then we'll use that as like blue, I guess. So a reflection across the y-axis. Remember, when we reflect across the y-axis, the x changes sign. All right, so it's going to be x comma y. They stay in the same place, right? But it's negative x comma y. Okay, so we can go ahead and make our own little table, and we'll make it, I guess, up here, since we're not really going to be using this quadrant very much. So we can just do, it's x, g, k, x, g, k, x, g, k, and then we can just, let's just start our things there. We can just do xgk like this, xgk. So our x coordinate is 6, 3, 6, 3. Our g coordinate is 5, 7, 5, 7, and our k coordinate is 3, 4, 3, 4. All right, we'll do a red intermediate translation, or transformation, which is our rotation, counterclockwise. We're not going to draw it, but we'll just have it there, right? So it's going to be a negative x, that's wrong, hold on, it's going to be y comma negative x. It could be y comma negative x. That's going to be our xy. It should be blue. I always do that. So it's going to be y comma negative x, and those are going to be our xy coordinates. Xy coordinates. Okay. So because we got that from down, here, right? Negative our y comma negative x. We just transform that up to here, right? So that we can get our coordinates for our next polygon triangle. All right. So our y's are just going to be our x's. All right, so that's going to be 6, 5, and 3. So it's going to be 6. Oh, that's wrong. Hold on. Our x's are going to be our old y's. So that's going to be 3, 7, and 4. Okay, and then our y's are going to be our negative x's. So negative 6, negative 5, and negative 3. That's just the intermediate polygon. So we're going to use, like, I don't know, pink for to find our final one. And our final one is going to be red, negative x, negative x. Got negative x. That's pretty good from here. We got negative x comma y. So negative x comma y from our red column. And that's going to be our new x and y, x and comma y. So our y's are going to be our negative x's. So this would be 6, 5, and 3 is our x's. And our y's are going to be, just our y's are going to be 3. Oh, I'm out of time. Hold on.